So we're not having this conversation because your world needs to be saved or your planet is in peril or you'll be in trouble if you don't hear this. You're all doing just fine. It's all working out great. Really, it is. With one small exception, and that is you as humans are not nearly as joyful as you meant to be. Not nearly as joyful as you meant to be. You said, I am source energy. A part of me will come forth. I will explore contrast and I will come to new decisions. And when a new decision is born out of me, I will feel the birthing of it and a momentary feeling of enthusiasm. And then I will use all of my determination and my willpower and my ability to focus in the direction of my newfound expansion. And I will train myself into the frequency of that until that is my normal vibrational offering. And I know that law of attraction, as it always does, will wrap itself around me with cooperative components that are equivalent to the vibrational stance that I learn and practice and achieve. That's what you said. And you said, and the best part of it. Let's see, what's the best part? Being born? No, not really. Sifting through the contrast? No, not really. Giving birth to a rocket? Maybe, but not so much. The very best part of it is having expanded and knowing that I've expanded because I can feel that I'm not up to speed with my expansion, and then doing something about changing my thought until I get in the groove of the expansion, and then feeling myself be drawn by law of attraction into the cooperative component of the vortex of creation. That's the best part, you said, again and again. And you know that because you're always looking for adventure. You love that thrill of coming into alignment. You adore the feeling of relief. You tense and agonize against negative stuff. In other words, you know that you want to feel good. The reason that you want every single thing that you want. There's no one who wants anything for any other reason than that they believe they will feel better in the having of it. And we want you to understand that it's not the having of the thing. It's not the having of the girl. It's not the having of the boy. It's not the having of the relationship. It's not the having of the car or the empire or the job or the money. It's not the having of those things that you are creating that makes you happy. It's the having of the vibrational alignment with who you are. A woman said to us one day, Abraham, my lover left and now I'm sad. And we said, no, you're not. And she said, to be clear, my lover left and now I am very sad. And we said, no, you're not. People don't always speak what they're thinking. But what she was thinking is, you crazy ghost. Can't you hear what I'm saying? I was not sad. Then my lover left. Now I'm sad. I'm sad because my lover left. But we wanted her to understand all sadness comes from holding yourself apart from the most expanded version of you. In other words, we wanted to explain to her that that relationship had caused her to create a vibrational version of a relationship, and that as she was focusing upon this man walking out of her life, she was focused in opposition to this relationship that she had carved out. That man was never the lover of her dreams. He was just a temporary filler for the lover of her dreams. But the reason she was sad, nevertheless, was not because he had walked out the door. She was just using his exit as her excuse to not be a vibrational match to who she is. You have the ability, no matter what, to focus yourself out of sadness. The reason that so often you don't believe that you can do that is because law of attraction has been active in your life. And if you've been beating the drum of something, law of attraction's been surrounding you with more things like that. So when you get going on something, and it's a far cry, a far vibrational cry from who you really are and all that you've expanded to, you feel bad. And then you begin making a sort of art of feeling bad. You email friends about how bad you feel today. You blog about it. You talk to your friends about it. You think about it. Someone said to us, it feels like my thoughts are thinking me. It doesn't feel like I have any control over my thoughts. I try to think more positive thoughts, but I just keep going back and going back and going back. And that's really what we're going to talk about here today. We want to show you how if you stop doing that thing you do that's holding you apart from who you are, you'll move easily back to who you are. You don't have to. In fact, it's not even possible. It's certainly not a good idea to take something that's really bothering you, and in the middle of it really bothering you, try to talk about it in a shiny, brighter, fluffier way. Because the more you try to do that, the more it will just backlash, and the more you will defend your negative position. We want you to understand that just like the cork will bob on the surface of the water, you can hold it under the water, but when you let go, it will bob right back up there. We want you to understand that you will bob right back into your vortex when you cease beating the drum of things that hold you in a resistant vibrational attitude. So, why are we talking to you? Well, you've summoned us, but what's this all about? What is this knowledge that we are helping you to remember or find resonance with? What's its value to you? Why is it of advantage for you to understand that you are the creator of your own reality? Why is it of advantage for you to recognize that there are two vibrational aspects of you going on in every moment that you are focused in this physical body? Why is it important for you to know that these two aspects exist and that there is an emotional bond between them that lets you know how aligned you are with what you have created and its furthest extension, or how resistant you are to it? Well, it's not important in the sense that the longevity of your planet is at stake, because it isn't. Well-being is assured. It's not important if you are thinking in terms of even your reemerging in the non-physical and you're understanding who you are and fulfilling your reason for being, because as you bang around in this physical life experience, you are becoming, and in what you call your death experience, we call it your croaking experience. We try to be disrespectful since there is no death. When you reemerge back into non-physical, you catch up with all that this life has added to who you are. In other words, you catch up with all that you are. So there's no big thing that is at risk if you, as this small cluster of people, or even mass consciousness, doesn't hear this, because the whole thing is so well established. You are source energy, and you are coming forward, and you are adding to the expansion of the universe because of being here in this physical body. And the larger part of you is expanding, and you will feel the utter satisfaction of all of that when you have your entrance or withdrawal from the physical back into the non-physical. You'll feel all of that satisfaction. The reason that we are visiting with you now is we don't think you should have to croak to find that satisfaction. We think you should be able to be here in this physical body and understand the wholeness of who you are. And we think that you are wise enough to tune yourself to the wholest part of who you are. We think that you should be able to be here in a physical body, explore the details, know what you don't want, know what you do want, and use your emotions to keep you tuned to the furthest expanded version of who you are. Because we know this for sure. When you don't feel good. So you can't hold your expansion back. It's a byproduct of life. You cannot hold your expansion back, but you can lazily or sloppily tune yourself out of alignment with that. And when you do, you feel crummy. When you do, you get sick. When you do, you don't like life. When you do, you feel fear, you feel hate, you feel anger. You feel all of those things that are just emotional indicators or physical manifestational indicators of thinking by default, really. Just thinking because it's in front of you. It'd be like sitting in front of your television and there's a program on and someone comes in and says, "What is it?" And you say, "I don't know, but it's really miserable." And they say, "Why don't you change the channel?" And you say, "What?" I never change the channel. I just come into the room and I sit down and I watch what's there. And then I comment on it. Just letting you know, this particular thing is really awful. We're not kidding. That's mostly what you do. You read the front page of the newspaper and you have a knee-jerk response to it. And you watch CNN and you have a knee-jerk response to it. And Your kids call or your neighbors do something and you just look around and you respond. You just observe and respond and observe and respond and observe and respond. The good news is every time you observe and respond, you launch a rocket of improvement. But if you don't do something about then tuning yourself to the improvement, then what happens is your life gets away from you. That's why the longer people live in their bodies, the ornerier and the sicker they usually get. Because life kept causing them to expand, but they didn't go. They just kept watching the same channel. They just kept observing and commenting on what they were observing. So this Art of Allowing workshop, this is about the art of allowing what? The art of allowing me in my physical human body, with my physical mind, with my physical ability to focus, is about me using my ability to focus myself into alignment with the furthest that I have become. And that is where true satisfaction comes from. Moment to moment to moment satisfaction. Nothing is more delicious than to explore life and know what you don't want and know what you do want, and then recognize that you've expanded. You can tell because you feel uneasy. You've expanded to a new place, but you've got chronic habits of thought that aren't letting you go there. What we want to introduce to you in a way that you can really feel it, and in a way that we would like very much if it evokes a new decision within you, we want you to be on the quest for the path of least resistance. And we want you to understand that the path of least resistance is this viable, magnificent path because the source within you has already carved it out. All of these rockets of desires that you put over here into this vortex of creation have put a powerful, powerful point of attraction into motion where all cooperative components have been assembled. So the question that this workshop asks of you and will help you answer is, are you a cooperative component of your own creation? We want you to get it. You are the creator of you. You have created a prosperous, healthy, vital, alive, good feeling, good timing, very exhilarated version of you into your vortex of creation. And you've got to find ways of focusing yourself into alignment with that before you can, in this moment, in real time, experience the true version of who you are. You are not meant to be fragmented beings. You are meant to see your life through the eyes of Source. You're meant to understand your world from the viewpoint of Source. Life is supposed to be good for you, not just eventually, but right now. You're supposed to feel good, not just eventually, but right now. Everything that you're living right now is what life is. It's always right here, right now. Source isn't waiting around to live. Source is living right here, right now. Source is not waiting around to love. Source is loving right here, right now. And Source is wise enough to look for a reason to love through your eyes in every moment. And finding a reason to love through your eyes in every moment. The question is, are you up to speed with the love that Source is finding through your eyes right here, this moment? We think you're getting it. We think you're getting it. And now we're wanting you to understand that in your knowing what you don't want and your knowing what you do want, you are adding that which all that is knowing what it wants too. And all that is benefiting by what you've carved out and living it and wanting you to live it too. And you can, as long as you get your horse in front of your cart, which is to say, as long as you say, nothing is more important than I feel good. Today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to see the world through the eyes of Source. And Source is saying back to you, and we are now seeing the world in a newly defined perspective because of what you just lived just now. And we are reveling in your new discovery. Come play with us here and now. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is exhilarating to come together with those like you who are taking thought beyond that which it has been before. And nothing is more satisfying to us than to speak in ways that you are ready to hear, to bring you more fully into allowing the fullness of that which you are becoming, but even more definitively spoken, into that which you are allowing all of us to become as well.